Hi there, seniors. This is Miss Kreider and Mr. Mayfield.
What's up, guys?
And normally we would have an assembly in the auditorium, but here we're going to give you a video with lots of important information about the spring. So Mr. Mayfield's going to get us started.
All right. I hope everybody's doing well. I'll try to keep this as short as possible. But seniors, we're pulling for you here. Last 9 weeks of your high school career. A couple things we want to remind you of because we don't want anyone falling short of reaching their goals of graduation from high school and then going on to college or to the workforce or the military. So we need, basically our theme is at JL Manns, we want you to finish strong. Okay. And of course, this is my last 9 weeks. So my goal for y'all is I'm going to finish strong. So I want y'all to do the same. Hopefully I can set a good example for you. The first thing is make sure that you keep up with your attendance. Okay. Remember on the semester, you only get so many absences. So just make sure, just keep showing up, just come to school. Okay. So you don't have to worry about it. It's not a problem. So stay on top of your attendance. If not, there's seat time recovery. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But there is a hard deadline at the end of the year because graduation for us is right after we come back, the day after we come back from Memorial Day weekend, and there's no room for makeup after that. You either have it done and you graduate or you don't. So stay on top of it. Don't wait, especially this year. We cannot say it enough. And things like your obligations, you need to take care of early. Do not wait for these things because there will be some hard deadlines you will have to meet. And if you don't, you won't be able to participate in graduation. And we want all of y'all to be able to walk across that stage, shake my right hand, let me put a diploma in your left hand. So also stay on top of your grades. Okay, this is it. Last 9 weeks of high school. So just make sure you're staying on top of your grades. You don't let things fall. Even those of y'all who make really good grades, we have seen seniors get the senioritis bad. And we've had kids we've had their offers to go to school revoked based on what they did their last 9 weeks. Okay, so understand that. Offers were given, but then they were revoked because they did so poorly their last 9 weeks. So don't fall into that trap. Just stay on top of your grades. And of course, y'all do a really good job with your behavior. We're not too worried about your behavior, but we've had some kids do some stupid stuff that are seniors and are suffering some pretty severe consequences. Okay. And what's happening is here at the end of the year, the consequences get to be more severe because at the end of the day, the last thing that we have that can be removed is your ability to participate in graduation. And once again, we don't want to deny anyone the opportunity to participate in graduation. Okay, so you may still graduate high school, but that doesn't mean you don't necessarily get to participate in the ceremony, and that is not what we want. Trust me, when those things happen, it is not fun for anybody because everybody gets all upset. Students are upset, parents are upset, administration's upset. We're having to deal with the discipline issue at the end where somebody may be going up for expulsion or whatnot. So don't even mess with it. And where we tend to have problems tends to be at our spring sporting events because we have a lot of really good teams. We'll go deep in the playoffs. I've had students that we went for state championships and they got to spend the night in the Richland County Jail because they showed up drunk at a ball game. And guess what? Then they're looking at not walking at graduation. I can't tell you how many times through the years that I've been principal I've had to deal with those things, and none of it is fun for anybody. I don't want that for you. I don't want it for your parents. I don't want it for the school, for myself, or the assistant principal has to deal with it. The last thing I want to talk about in the springtime is you guys also set the example, and we're going to have some really big games. We'll have some big games at home. Hopefully we'll have some good crowds. But our expectation for sportsmanship is we focus on cheering for the Patriots. We've had some issues where people have demonstrated poor sportsmanship from the stands. You will be removed. This is the only warning for anybody. If you do anything inappropriate, single out a player from another team, okay, or say anything inappropriate to a ref, you will be removed and you will not be allowed to come to any remaining athletic events, and it could result in a referral. Okay, and it could impact graduation. All these things start to come into play. It just kind of depends on the time of the year, but we impose severe penalties because of some of the behaviors we've seen. And look, we do that not because of what y'all have done, unfortunately, because of what students before you've done. We've had some people do some really bad things, and we're just not gonna put up with it. So we don't say that try to scare you or anything like that, but we do want you to have good information, because we've always told you guys that if we feel like if we give you good information, you make good decisions. So when you come to the game, cheer for the Patriots. And here's the thing: when people, the times we've had students that have been trying to get on the other team, all it does is motivate them. All they do is they get more fired up, and they play harder than they were before. Just cheer for the Patriots, focus on them, and that's when we've done the best. That's when our teams play the best, when our teams are cheering for us, not when we're trying to harass the other team or the referees. But no, my assistant principals, everybody, we got them every game. Anybody who's singling out any players from other teams or saying anything inappropriate to officials or anyone else, there are no warnings. This is it. So listen, we want to have a great spring. Right now, we are currently in third place in the state cup for the best athletic program, which is one of the highest we've been coming out of fall and winter. We have a really good chance to finish first or second place if we have a strong spring. And you guys, the fans, the student body, y'all can have a huge impact on that, but it needs to be a positive impact. So we appreciate your help with that. Okay, I'm going to send you back to Mr. Crider. Or maybe not. I think I may have the next.
That's okay. So, all right. So I'll tell you real quick about seat time. So obviously, Mr. Mayfield mentioned there's a deadline. That deadline is May 26th. I cannot emphasize that enough. You are getting your graduation tickets the following day, the 27th. Like Mr. Mayfield said, we have the weekend, then we have Memorial Day, and we graduate at 8 a.m. the following day after Memorial Day. So if your seat time is not done and paid for by the 26th, you will not receive tickets on the 27th. There is no other time for you to serve it or pay for it. It has to be done by the 26th. So you guys actually have a copy of this PowerPoint, so you can see this is a link to the seat time form. You can access this. I've also linked Mr. Griffith's video that you watched in advisory a while ago. We're in Mr. Mayfield's office, and so you can watch this video if you're wondering, how do I figure out if I have seat time, if I don't have seat time? There is a video for you to watch where Mr. Griffith clearly shows you how to go into Backpack and how to figure out if you owe seat time or not. And then here is the form that you are welcome to print out. All right, a couple of things about exams. So AP exams that apply to y'all, you know the dates there. Do make sure that you have joined Miss Udy's AP classroom. This is that code for if you are taking an AP exam in May, whether you took an AP class in the fall or you're taking an AP class in the spring, you need to join this Google Classroom. That's the code right there, because that is where Miss Udy is going to give you information about your AP test, like when it is, what time it is, what you need to bring, what you can't bring, like leave your cell phone in your car, things like that. Those of you who have taken AP classes before know that typically there is a form that you have to turn in so that you can be excused for the rest of the day. Say you had an 8 a.m. exam and you want to be excused the rest of the day, there's a form that you're going to have to fill out. The link to that form is going to be in Miss Udy's AP classroom, so you have to join that. Final exams are going to be May 24th and 25th, so that last week of May is critical. Do not go out of town. You do have to take and pass your final exams. And then seat time is due the following day, and you get your tickets on the 27th. Prom is coming up soon. It is on April 8th. Hopefully you know about this, from 8 to 11. It is going to be over at the Embassy Suites. That's the address right there. If you are planning to bring a date from outside JL Mann, so someone who's a non-JL Mann student, you do need to print off this form. Again, you have access to this PowerPoint in your backpack. Click on this link that says form. That will take you to the whatever it's called, non-JL Mann student prom form. You do have to get that filled out. I believe an administrator has to sign that, and all of that is due on the 7th. So even though prom's on the 8th, those forms are due on the 7th in order for you to be allowed to buy a ticket. Tickets are being sold right now at lunch in Building A in the Commons, so you'll see Mr. Ballinger there. Tickets are $40, and you do, like Mr. Mayfield said, you need to be clear of obligations. So now is a great time to check with Ms. Hill. Ms. Hill also sends you guys emails telling you if you owe obligations, whatever it is, whatever fee, something you didn't pay. And then there's some information there about how you're going to vote for prom king and queen. You can read that on your own. I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Mayfield just to emphasize behavior at prom.
All right, guys. So just a couple things about prom to try to keep everybody safe and try to help anyone from having to go up for expulsion because of what should be a great night. We don't want it to be a bad night. So, and look, you are going to remember prom. Okay, so it's one of the more memorable evenings you're going to have as a high school student. The only question is, are you going to remember it for the fun things and how much you enjoyed it, or are you going to remember it for something negative? Okay, like you've gotten in trouble, and either had to be arrested or went up for expulsion. And the biggest issue we deal with are students, drinking at prom. Okay, so we're trying to give you some heads up on how we're going to do things because we're on the lookout for that. We're actively trying to see if anybody's been drinking because we don't want somebody to get behind the wheel of a car and either kill or hurt themselves or someone else. Okay. And once again, we want prom to be a memorable night for the right reasons. But when you get to prom, there will be a receiving line of adults, probably about 20. Okay. There will be a long line of adults. Okay. And the standard protocol, okay, you will come through the line. Gentlemen, the expectation, or one of the two, you will be expected to introduce your date to the people as you go through the line. So sometimes we have two guys come together, sometimes there's two girls. Somebody needs to be introducing, this is my date, so and so, and let them come through. If you're coming alone, you can just introduce yourself. It's fine. Okay, but you will be coming face to face with me, Mrs. Mayfield, and a row of administrators and other adults who are there chaperoning, and you will be expected to go through and introduce yourself or your date as you come through the line. Okay, so we will have the entire faculties, just about the entire faculties there to help chaperone. So there will be adults all over the place. Bathrooms will be monitored, all those kinds of things. So look, we just encourage you, come, have a good time, enjoy it. But don't do anything stupid. Unfortunately, there have been other schools that have had issues where students have lost their lives on prom night because of poor decisions, driving, drinking, and so forth. And unfortunately, man, it seems like every other year we have someone going up for expulsion because they've come to it having been under the influence of alcohol. So look, and be a good friend. If you're with people and somebody's doing something they shouldn't, help them make good decisions. Okay, don't even show up. Okay, because look, this is just because it's at the Embassy Suites. It's the same as this is here at J.L. Mann High School. The Embassy Suites now is an extension of J.L. Mann High School. It's just like sitting in class. Okay, and so we don't want that for you. Okay, so come, have a good time, have lots of fun. It's a great venue. We're looking forward to it. But most of all, we just want to make sure we see everybody on Monday afterwards, that you got home safe and had a good time. So, all right.
All right, so make good decisions at prom, and it'll be a great event. All right, now pay attention, folks. This is coming after prom, the week after prom, Wednesday, April 13th. That's when you're going to get your cap and gown. All of you that have ordered your cap and gown from Herf Jones, they are coming. So the way this is going to work is all of you back in February were mailed a postcard by Herf Jones. I'm going to show you what that postcard looks like. It looks like this. It has your name on it. It says if you owe any money, and it basically says bring this postcard with you on April 13th. So find that postcard, okay? Find that postcard, bring that postcard on April 13th. It's going to show that hopefully it shows that you have a zero balance. Basically, you don't owe any money. If you do have the postcard, then you are going to go in the auditorium doors that are closest to the vending machines, and you're going to wait in that line, and that line's going to go quick because you've already paid everything for your cap and gown. They're just going to give them your name. They're going to see it on the postcard. The Herf Jones people are going to give you your cap and gown, and you're good to go. You've got your stuff. Now, if you don't have the postcard or you owe money, you're going to get in the line closer to the Patriot. There's an auditorium door closer to the Patriot. You get in line there, and if you owe money, you need to pay that day. Now, it is cash only. They are not taking checks, so cash only. And if you don't have your postcard, and even if you have paid in full, if you don't have your postcard, you also have to wait in that line just so Herf Jones confirms, yes, you have paid in full, and then you will be able to, you only have to get in the other line. You'll just kind of hop across the auditorium to get your cap and gown, all right? If you have questions about this, or if you want to know, do I have a balance? I have that information. You just come see me in 933 and I can give you that information. So again, I did a visual because I know some of y'all are more visual learners, but if you don't have your postcard, either you can't find it, you never got one, you need to get in the auditorium door closest to the Patriot. You go in through this door, and this is where if you have the money to pay your balance, that's where you pay it. Or even if you don't have your postcard, you get in that line, you have proof from Herf Jones that you don't owe anything. Then if you do have your postcard, hopefully you have your postcard, go find it. It went out in February. Then you wait in the line closer to the vending machines. That's this door. And you'll be able to get your cap and gown much faster that way. If you do owe a balance and you don't have the money, then you are going to have to go online on Herf Jones and pay them. And then you're going to have to bring me a receipt, and I will give you your cap and gown at that point. points. All right. Speaking of caps and gowns, if you're like, wait, first I've heard of this, well, you clearly haven't watched these videos that have come out in Backpack or through Advisory, but it is not too late. It's just very expensive. You need to come see me, Miss Kreider, in 933, and I will help you make sure you can get a cap and gown, get you the information how to purchase it. Now, understand that I am not giving you graduation tickets unless you have proof that you have purchased a cap and gown. Now, you might think, how do I have proof? Well, I have a list from Herf Jones. I know who's bought and who has not bought, and if you haven't bought one, then I'm not going to give you tickets. All right. So, speaking of graduation, we are not having a formal graduation practice. I will send you a video very similar to this the week of May 23rd. Well, I will go over some more logistics about graduation, things like where to park, where to go, that kind of stuff. Speaking of graduation, just in case you don't know the date, it is May 31st at 8 a.m. We do graduate at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena downtown. That is early. I know that, but oh well. That's the time we got assigned. Seniors do have to be there an hour early, 7 a.m. Doors also open at 7 a.m. And also know that Bon Secours does have a clear bag policy. Now, seniors, graduates, you shouldn't be bringing bags with you. That's more for your guests that are coming. Understand that tickets are going to be general admission. So, if your parents want the best seats, then they better be there at 7 a.m. when the doors open to get those tickets. That's not a, oh, let me roll up at 7:30. It'll be fine. No, you are there at 7 a.m. because I'm going to run through a short practice while you are there. So you got to be there at 7 a.m. All right, speaking of tickets, I get this question a lot. How many tickets do I get for graduation? You get 10, okay? They are general admission. They are not assigned. And literally every human coming to graduation needs a ticket. I always get the question, does my 6-month-old niece need a ticket? Yes, your 6-month-old needs a ticket. Also, don't bring a 6-month-old to graduation. They're just going to cry, okay? No extra tickets are going to be sold. So if you need extra tickets, you need to communicate with your friends and see if they have a ticket, and maybe they will give it to you, or capitalism, and maybe they will sell it to you. That's completely up to you all. When are you getting tickets? This is important. I put this in red on May 27th. Again, I need you to understand exams are that week. Seat time is due on the 26th, and on the 27th is when you come to the school and pick up your tickets. Now, to get your tickets, you do have to be clear of obligations. Seat time had to have already been paid for the day before. Textbooks had to have been turned in. Chromebooks and chargers had to have been turned in. Fees had to have been paid. All that stuff has to be. That is not on the 27th. That is before the 27th, because I'm going to get everything organized before that. So make sure that stuff is taken care of so that you actually receive your tickets. Speaking of tickets, I will not give them to your parent. I will not give them to your sibling. It is you, the senior, that we give the tickets to, because you, the senior, are the one who's graduating, and you get to decide who gets to come to your graduation. So notice this will be done alphabetically. So figure out your last name, then you'll figure out what time you need to come. So this streamlines this a little bit. So I told you about this in the fall. I'm retelling you this in the spring. Continuing on, a lot of people have emailed me, what do I have to wear to graduation? Well, there is a dress code to graduation. This was described in the senior spotlight that I told you about earlier. Do remember, you cannot decorate your cap and gown. That is not allowed. Ladies, this describes what you are supposed to wear. Gentlemen, this describes what you're supposed to wear. And because I know, again, some of you are more visual learners, I also even have a link right here that will show you, this is what people wore. Now, this was, these robes are different because this was a couple years ago when we graduated at Timmons, but you can see gentlemen what you're supposed to wear. Probably the most common gentleman is like khakis, dress pants. You do need a collared shirt. Usually most gentlemen wear white, and you do need a tie or a bow tie. This kid wore a suit. That's fine too. And then you'll see ladies, ladies wear a dress. For some reason, you all get the message that you need to wear white. You don't have to wear white. You can wear whatever color dress you want to. The thing with dresses, ladies, is you need to make sure that the hem of your dress is shorter than your robe. We do not want to see the hem of your dress below your robe, if that helps. And then I get a lot of questions the day of graduation. Where's my tassel go? Which side does it go? It goes on the right-hand side, and then after you're declared a graduate, then it moves to the left-hand side. So again, that information is linked in here. You can read about like shoes. So like, you can't wear tennis shoes to graduation. We need to wear dress shoes, that kind of stuff. So all that's detailed. It's been in the senior spotlight. I've got examples there. So definitely read that so that you know how the dress code works. Also, at the end of April is going to be Talisman Day. Do remember that Talisman Day is going to be on the 29th. Remember that dress code does apply. You do have to wear your ID. Probably in the past, the thing that has kept seniors from attending Talisman Day is they show up in short shorts, or they show up out of dress code. Like, don't do that. You need to still be in dress code. It's still a school day. So you'll get your yearbook that day. You'll learn about the Mannies, and then there'll be a cookout after that for you. Anything about Talisman Day? Good. Okay, covered that. All right, speaking of the Mannies, you can vote for this. Again, you have this link to this PowerPoint. If you click on this, it will take you to a Google form where you can then vote for who you want to win the Mannies. So that's available to you. The link is also right there. If you still have not bought your yearbook, you will get your yearbook on Talisman Day seniors get their yearbooks first because y'all are super important. If you have not bought your yearbook, click on that link so that you can purchase your yearbook. If you want to buy a graduation sign, this flyer has been on the school website for a while, but it is also here as well. All right, so to reiterate, the senior spotlight is linked here. Remember, that's the form that had all of this information printed out for you. It has been available since August. But should you have any questions, you can please email me, Ms. Kreider, or Dr. Gibson. We are happy to help you. So I know that was a lot of information. Again, this video is going to be shown to you in advisory. This PowerPoint is going to be with this video, will be sent to you in backpack. If you have any questions, reach out to myself or Dr. Gibson. And Mr. Mayfeld and I say we wish you the best.
Yep.
And we hope you finish strong.
Yep. Guys, look, I'm like I said before, I'm proud to be going out with you. So let's all have a great last 9 weeks and just do the things, take care of business, and like I said, I want to be able to shake your right hand and put a diploma in the left. And as always, go Patriots.